Got next door.
Mm-hmm. if we practice holy thought, if we practice holy thought, then it says that you should love thy neighbor as thyself. So this should be familiar to any who, do the study and live what they study. In Sufa 24, we'll be covering that. The neighbor.
And there's always somebody living next door. And I really don't think that everybody in this world and society, that no matter where you live, somebody don't know their neighbor. Because I've learned that when I moved from the south and moved to the north, all that waving and being friendly, they didn't roll like that. You had to make an adjustment because they had a different type of lifestyle. And we talking about neighbor. So I experienced that, hey, man, this guy ain't really my neighbor. Is he my neighbor? I know he's a stranger. I don't know his name. Somebody might move in next door, but is somebody, do you really know your neighbor? That's all. That's what we're talking about here.
And apparently not, because what we experience is not love and kindness throughout the boundless universe. Neighbors don't love neighbors, because if they do, we'll have a community.
Right on.
And so once we have to understand that, we got to stop living the fairy tale and produce the real life.
That's so true.
Stop living the dream when you in reality.
That's so true.
Bring about that what you think about.
There you go.
And so this is why the lessons are online, because this is what I think about. Mm-hmm. I want to be about what I think about. Beautiful. And bring what's on my mind.
Beautiful.
We need understanding of self more than we need understanding of anything else in these time periods that we in. Mm-hmm. It's been over half of a millennium since our people have received knowledge of self. They have been worshiping, praying, and worshiping and praying to idols. Mm-hmm. And now when you find that there's no such thing as what you've been praying to exists, now we got to come to the questioning, what have we been praying and what we have been worshiping? Because our community's not together.
That's correct.
Our family's not together.
That's correct.
Our children not in harmony. Mm-hmm. They giving them medicine at the youth when a children is born pure. And now guardians are being invited to give their youth detrimental medicine that has side effects later in their years. Beautiful. You may not see it now. Just because you want them to be still, how about teach them and train them through education and not appeal?
Beautiful. Beautiful. It's well said.
And so this is what I mean by we don't have good neighbors.
Right on.
The person that's giving appeal to something that's natural to not have appeal, that's not a good neighbor.
That's correct.
One who brings harm in thought, word, or deed is not a good neighbor.
That's correct.
One who steals, covets other people's property is not a good neighbor.
Come on with it.
Those who talk good in public but talk bad in private is not a good neighbor.
Beautiful.
We are finna learn what is a good neighbor.
Yes, indeed.
Who want to bring this heaven down
on
earth?
Well, I'll start it off.
Uh-oh.
I mean, you got me already fired up on explaining the neighbor.
Go ahead, great
and
Louise.
What you said is so true, because what all you said, all I could do was see the picture of that, what you was talking about. One, oh you who believe, let it be said, El-Moji. That's the ancient name for neighbor.
Mm-hmm. Glad you made that
See
clear.
how far you have drifted. You don't even know who thou art and what they talking about. And that right there alone can throw you in the left field if you don't really know what's being said.
Mm-hmm.
Two, the responses. The responses. The answer.
Mm-mm.
Huh? Let's just stop a moment.
Mm-mm.
Take a deep breath.
Two great words right there.
Take a deep breath. And let's talk about responses. You know, all I can think about that law that governed the units there is car response. See, you got a response, you got car response. Response, that's by like conscious talking to conscious.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh, that's it. That's the secret. That's the secret.
Response. And people don't have an answer to all this madness that's going on in the world today. And we talking about neighbor. And every country should be a neighbor. I don't, or anywhere, any land thereof.
Mm-hmm.
That's your neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the big picture. And all I see right now is bombs being dropped on all the neighbors. Everybody that has bombs and weapons are using it. What kind of neighbor? Al-Muji. The answer. Has anybody ever been questioned or asked a question? And did you have an answer? In order to have an answer, you have to know something. It's going to take some knowledge. And we just left our brother. They had plenty to say on knowledge. Because knowledge has the answer. And the sweet part about it is number 3, and the 22nd name. That's his name of Allah, the one, the absolute, the Almighty. 2-2. I guess that's where they got that room 22. The name of Allah. The responses, the answer. Do you have an answer to your problems right now? Whatever problem is in your life as I speak, do you have an answer? Because somebody ought to be trouble-bound or troublesome. And you gonna live your life every day like that? Paul said, the one who watches over the home and guard against danger. The one who watches over the home. Boy, I tell you what. I hear a lot of people say they man at the house and all, but I wonder if they the watchman over the home and a guard against danger, or they the danger themselves and don't even realize it. a watchman over the home. And I think that's what we all live in each and every day. And that's our blessed place to be. And there shouldn't be a lot of bad things going on within our homes. There shouldn't be a lot of bad things going on in our home, and not only our home, our neighbors. And if it's bad going on in the home, how are you gonna come out and love your neighbor? When you already mad as hell. Somebody mad with somebody. And guard against danger. Do we see any danger around us? And are we guarding, or are we watching anything, or we allow anything that's around that have its way? Because this is powerful here now, talking about guard against over your home and guard against danger. And we stand around. None of us should stand around and allow anything to go that's bad come upon our home. No, ourselves. 5, a helper and member of the family called community. That's what you said earlier in your statement. Community. In all these communities, there should be all good neighbors. And all we see is bullets being fired and children getting shot, stand by. It's a mess. And you think about all that, say, how did we get here? I mean, one evil promoted another one, and but what I'm seeing is an atmosphere, an evil atmosphere of killing instead of loving. This is what I see. It look like to me, this is what people accept now, is all this killing going on, and nobody trying to stop it. Six, a friend. That's good. Yeah. A friend and ally through mutual respect and tolerance. Through mutual respect and tolerance. Seven, there's a law is ever present. Allah is ever present.
Ever.
Well, when you hear this here and you wonder with them, who is that in these who are these other characters that's acting all out of order when Allah is always present? What's going on here with these spirits?
And that's what it is. See, most don't understand. They look for a God in the sky, or they pray. This is what I was saying earlier, praying and worshiping to idols. When Allah is ever present. That's a key knowledge right there.
That's right.
That's telling the one who's seeking knowledge. Not the one seeking anything outside of knowledge. One seeking knowledge, knowledge is ever present. So if a law ain't present inside of a being, then a law is absent from that being. So the same thing where they said he who has no law is in transgression, is in sin. So when you see any energy carrying a form that's not having the presence of a law in them, they dangerous to be around.
Oh man, that's God is true. And I mean, I can't think of it no other way but that. That's why I found myself with very few. I'm so comfortable when I'm out here. No, none of us bring each other no harm. Never peace and love.
And
Do
that's
you
the
know
whole.
that's a sweet atmosphere to be in and be among?
Oh yes.
When I have experienced so much of the other. But it's just a beautiful thing. But we talking about neighbor here. Neighbor. Yourself. Neighbor. You might be moving somewhere somebody's already living. So now you the new neighbor. You yourself. Now, are you a good neighbor that's coming? Are you a bad neighbor? Are you in the presence of Allah? Or y'all know the opposite of good?
And see love is such a dynamic that, of course, we can say that a lot of people are incompetent of, because we wouldn't have the disaster that we have now with orphans, with little children, with women experiencing what they're experiencing if love was ever founded, by the man. Man has to learn how to love. This is why he has to learn to seek knowledge, because knowledge is equipped with love. And since if one ain't seeking knowledge, then they seeking pleasure. And if they pleasure ain't seeking knowledge, then they ain't gaining love. And you can't respect the creator if you don't love and respect yourself. So if you disrespect yourself, that shows that Allah is not ever present within. So Allah is ever absent to those who don't think, know, or can even perceive that you are part of something that you didn't create. That there's a maker to the made. And everything that is made shall be unmade. So why not be good when your time is here is just short and sweet?
It is.
Why bring harm to yourself?
Yeah.
Then bringing forth harm to others.
Goodness gracious.
Now we got a community full of hatred. And this is what we have been schooled to believe in. We turn the cheek to harm, but we keep the cheek the same towards hate. We tell them to kiss again. But with love, we don't want nothing to do with it. Most people can't believe it, that love exists in a physical form. They will come and start doubting, creating lustful cardinal thoughts, bringing themselves away from the high heaven. When love is the foundation of who you are. If love didn't exist, you as self would not exist. That's why it's trying to tell us Allah is not ever absent, that Allah is ever present. Meaning he's in you, in me, in they, in them, in all. How else can anything be ever present?
Beautiful.
And if, just for example, if you have children, aren't you in they children? Aren't you yourself in your child?
That's correct.
Don't they say they look like you, or walk like you, or stand like you, or talk like you?
Part of you.
Some part of you. So that's the same thing, that Allah is in every being, like the father is in every child and the mother is in every newborn. It's a beautiful thing with this understanding. That we are set free and liberated from the tyranny of ignorance. Because the only thing stirring the pot is the hand of ignorance.
Man.
And as it keeps stirring, reality takes effect. You're going to see what a stirrer can stir. And we see it creates a volume of twists and turns and whirls.
Beautiful. Well said. Beautiful. 8. Verily, the most beloved of Muslims are those that would treat his neighbor as a brother.
There you go. That's what Jesus said, right?
What about those who hate their brother and don't like their brother and despise their brother and won't even hang with their brother, and we ain't gonna even mention sisters. We just gonna stick with brother right now. So we got a brother problem. All you out there proclaim to be brothers in internet land, are you a true brother?
Are you true?
Are you true? He said, beloved of Muslims. Love, be, love, and love be. Either way you put it, it sounds sweet.
And what I see with that too is like, this isn't for a Christian. It's like, I see Christians, they have a little thing when it comes to their neighbors. They have a thing at school when it comes to their neighbors. But like, this is instructions for a true Muslim.
Right on.
Gotcha.
Beautiful.
It's like I don't hold a Christian to be accountable. I don't hold a Christian accountable for these Sufis until they are converted over to this wisdom. I mean, I see it as somebody like us to be holding on to.
Right on. Right on. Cause see, if this ain't being taught, and it's a wonderful word to say it, because see, if this ain't being taught, true knowledge, true wisdom, then somebody gonna come up short, or they ain't gonna get the whole picture or the whole truth.
And it's teaching them in their scriptures if they really listening and reading, but it ain't as clear as the Sufis
Right.
when it comes to the Muslims. So the Muslims have it very clear.
10 said to judge them not by their belief. 11, and to protect their home as if it were their own. Judge them not by their belief. You were just talking about the Christians. Just got it out your mouth. 12, then when wicked and deceitful men seek to rob and to destroy. Deceitful men.
That's a special type of man.
Have you ran across any, or have you seen any at hand and at work? And they are many in every direction you turn and look. Says when wicked, and not only just a deceitful man now, but do you realize what the word wicked? Haven't you heard the old wicked witch?
Right.
The old wicked witch.
The wicked is
The old wicked man.
to be fully committed to doing evil.
Fully committed.
The wicked. That's a fully committed being.
So that being said, and when I see how everything being wrong, no matter if I see or even the word government is being wrong, and I see they ugly behavior and they ugly conduct
Mm-hmm.
and their ugly Christian values. And I got to say that because this what runs America is the Christians. The Christians are the one who's in charge, along with the Jews. Now, don't blame us for the mess. 'Cause we didn't make it. And we didn't create it. Go ahead. Good. 12, 13. They must show terror. Excuse me. They must sow terror and fear into the hearts of a town. Look at it.
Seed, planting the seed.
Plant the seed. Boy, that's all we hear. If it ain't terror, it's fear. It just in the news media, you talking about pump up the volume and crank up the volume. Them your DJs. Terror and fear. Boy, if they ain't the work of Satan or the devil that's going on, just like you promote terror and fear, why can't you promote goodwill to all men instead of the opposite? But we talking about neighbors now. That's the subject. That's the topic. We learning about neighbors. Now you're gonna know the good neighbors and the bad neighbors. No matter what title that one possesses that walks around us all with all these principalities. "14. So that neighbors fear and ignore neighbors." Now, remember I told you I be in the stores, going different places, and people that might look different from me and all, they won't even speak, or they won't even say anything. They look as though as I'm from another planet, like as though I'm an alien. Somebody has now trying to pretend that the melanated man is the new neighbor and the new alien. 15. So that even if one may hear a cry for help, 911, dial 911. That's the new number now. That any cry or any help you need, you pick up the phone and dial 3 digits. 911. And they'll ask you, what is your emergency? We're talking about neighbors. 16. The people shut their doors and hide until sunrise. "17, behold, evil then can only grow." When neighbors do not care nor seek to help their neighbors. I asked a question. Those in high places called government, senators, and congressmen, I wonder why they ain't helping the so-called the neighbor, the citizen. Or the so-called neighbor, we the people. That's your neighbor. I wonder why you can't help him, but you help everybody else in foreign lands. But when it comes to your own, no matter which state one's in, that's your neighbor. The state next door, the state with the line, the imaginary line.
It's a lot of imaginary
Yeah, it's just a lot going on
dealing
within the neighbor.
with anybody that's wicked and deceitful.
And don't you know that hurt? And don't you know you can't take for so much? And this is being presented to you on a daily basis, just like the Lord's Prayer said, give us this day our daily bread. Give us this day, and we arise into trouble. A troubled land. Homeless, starvation, murder, killing, stealing, and hating his neighbor. "19, the wise man knows his truth." The wise man knows this truth. "20, he seeks then amity with all his neighbors. See, the wise man has a different approach. And look what it takes to get the neighbor right. The truth. Jesus was trying to tell you, knuckleheads, long time ago, you shall know the truth. The truth will make you free. This is what it takes to get the neighborhood right. That his community be strong. We ain't got no business being weak. If we are weak, then something is wrong. If we are begging the rich man from the crumbs from the table, this is wrong.
Islam, I need to say that this is why knowledge is important. Because our people got a collective issue. This is why they sign up for churches, they sign up for groups, they sign up to belong to something. And so with that, if you understood what was read, and everybody who looking at the document sees what was read, it's not speaking in we or plurality, they, them. It says the wise man, meaning one has to take accountability upon himself, not looking for others to join him, not looking for others to be what he think others should be. That the wise man knows the truth and he does it. And this is what makes him wise. He don't go along with what he don't know. He go along with what he do know. And he know Allah is ever present. So if anyone is talking about they, them, we, us, they don't understand self. Self has to understand that it has to do these things itself. It said he seeks the amity of all his neighbors. Not we seek.
Right.
Self seeks. So what is self doing? What is self seeking?
Yeah.
This is what is happening. Whatever self is doing is because self is seeking. So a wise man ain't seeking nothing. A wise man only seeking knowledge. This is why he's able to help everyone, because it takes knowledge to help. And when we're speaking about the neighbor is yourself. This is why it's trying to refer back to man. We just read about the evil and the deceitful man. Then we read now about the wise man.
Yeah.
So the deceitful man, he looks to seek and rob and destroy others.
What he did.
The groups.
Yeah.
The collectives.
Yeah.
The institutions. But the wise man is opposite of the deceitful man. So when we talking about building a community, you want to build a community full of wise men or full of deceitful men. And this is what we have today, with money being a showboat where you can deceive others because of your flirtation.
Yeah.
But character-wise, you weak, and in thought, you mentally weak. Therefore, you lustful by nature, which is what we speaking on with sowing terror. This is how they have taken over. It's because people believe the fear that they spoke. People believe the terror that they terrorize with. People believe that they have the right to terrorize you and you don't have the right to defend yourself, protect yourself, watch over and guard yourself from danger.
Yeah.
Now, we ain't talking about what others' selves are responsible for themselves.
Yeah.
We talking about what self is responsible for himself, herself. This is an individual thing.
Yeah.
The killer is responsible for his individual act. The healer is responsible for his individual act. But all come from the same source. This is why we have to understand these wisdoms. Wisdom don't have a religion. Wisdom don't have a group. Wisdom knows truth, and it don't deviate from the truth.
Religions that piggyback from.
Great annexation. Stapling that this is where all religions are trying to be. They giving you doctrines of wisdom, but they also giving you doctrine of ignorance.
That's correct.
And so this is where men is getting confused, because he know what he doing.
That's right.
He like the leeway of being evil half time. He don't want to be good full time. That's a full-time job.
It is. It is. Hey, how many jobs you got? I have many. Because that alone is a full-time
It's a
job.
full-time job.
Being a good neighbor, being that wise man, that wise woman, that wise neighbor. That has a different approach.
And that's what the Sufyan want us to develop, to be a wise man and a wise woman. It's all the Sufyan wants, is you to be wise. That's what Allah is, all wise.
That's right. "22, that his neighbor be safe. Thirst, the robbers and the wicked man cannot divide and prosper. 24, the best of persons in Allah's sight is the best amongst his friends." Self
Giving us a game. The
The best of person, the best of self. 25, and the best of neighbors near alone. Mm. 26 is the best person in his own neighborhood. You study, you get through studying, study thyself. The best person is his own neighborhood, his own self. Those who are listening today, question to you. Are you your own self? Are you your own neighbor? The best of neighbors.
Good action, good action.
27. A Muslim who mix with people and put up with their inconvenience. See? There's a lot going on in this neighbor, y'all, whether you know it or not. You notice in life, a lot of we don't like to even do the same thing. And can you imagine some neighbors? It's just they into everything. And now you're mixing in, because when you, boy, I'm gonna tell you something. Just look out, bless them. We take a look around. Ain't nobody just right by you. You ain't all next door neighbor. You get a lot you ain't got to worry about.
I think we got to read that in the whole sentence. That was 27 and 28 together.
Together.
This is a comma. It's just one part of the sentence.
Yeah. 28 is better than one who does not mix with them and bears with patience. Right on.
A Muslim who mixes with people and puts up with their inconvenience
Mm-hmm.
is better than one who does not mixes with them and bears with patience. A lot of people try to stay away from their neighbors and stuff because of
What they
who
doing?
they are
That's
and what
right.
they do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's not. You could be better as a person by helping your neighbor.
That's right.
But just being who you are around your neighbor.
And they see, that's right.
Your neighbor.
Well said and well pointed out. Well said and well pointed out. Because we know that they're standing in the danger zone and need to be out. And if they were really intelligent enough to know, like they would remove themselves just like you did. Because once upon a time, you were standing in the danger zone.
And see, they don't know what that's like until they actually see someone that's living
There you go.
doing it themselves.
Right on.
And until that comes around,
Right on.
they're going to continue to
Right
live
on.
what they living.
Right on. How many today you see doing what we do? How many? Besides us. Everybody else doing the same thing. Same thing. could your life be the same bad thing each and every day? Come on, man. Come on, ain't no way.
Now, how you gonna get elevation when you around just that? And the people that do have the elevation or higher in wisdom, if they don't come around, these people ain't gonna get the knowledge.
They ain't, they're not. It's just like right now, we on internet land. This is what KOS is doing. Helping the neighbor. All the neighbors that's way over yonder, in yonder land.
And Lord knows how many we helped before we even come online. We've been doing this 12 years before coming online. So just in private, just helping people tremendously.
Yes.
If people would come forth, hey, people would know. But that's the love of KOS, a love and atmosphere.
Beautiful.
It was started as a love and atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing self to self.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the next two verses is gonna say just what you just said, and it's all about love. 29 asks the question, do you love your creator? Nah. Let's see where everybody stands. Because we do know that somebody is falling in love with something on this earth. Or since they came into existence, they have fallen in love with something.
Well, you can't love your creator until you're able to love your neighbor. Like, most people have issues with their mother and their father. Your actual creator. And then call themselves lovers of God.
The divine creator. Yeah.
Right.
And give your mother and father puny hate.
Right.
I'm glad you pointed that out, because that's beautiful. Because this is what people living today, right now.
Well, people living it right now.
Yeah. All this hatred going on.
You can't forgive. Well, those people can't forgive.
Yep, we covered in our lesson. It says one will not enter paradise except one love one another. And one cannot love one another until they have faith. Allah just informed me, I said it in reverse. Those who want to make it in paradise first must walk in faith. And you won't have faith until you love one another. That's it. That's right.
You know, to love your fellow being first.
Yep. 30.
Love me first.
If you love the creator, it says you would love your fellow being.
Love your fellow being first.
That's what it says. Do you love your creator?
Yeah.
If you do, love your fellow beings first. So now,
we're going to keep you honest.
Now the wool is lifted from the eyes.
Yeah.
Now we help our own self get the mote out of our eye. Now we can get the log out of our brothers and sisters' eye.
Right.
So now we're saying that if we witness throughout history of people, a certain group of people that make bombs and missiles and no, it is funny because these people don't love the creator. Like, these people, like, why would you even do that if you love the creator? Who are you protecting?
Yeah.
You're not protecting the lovers of the creator.
Yeah. You're finna harm somebody. Go ahead.
You protecting yourself. Here it come, y'all. They protecting themselves from the lovers of the creator. Because when the lovers of the Creator come online, they already know bye time.
Yeah.
Because it ain't no more. It ain't no more. When these lovers come online,
Yeah.
we been sleep offline.
Yeah.
But now when love bring us back online,
Love being rebuked.
the enemy of the Creator got hell on his hands.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
We gonna love and truth, and it's gonna pure, and it's gonna just destroy the enemy.
Yeah.
It's gonna melt the bomb.
Yeah.
Our love will melt the missiles.
Yes, indeed.
Can't nothing touch love. What it say, no weapon shall prosper.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I'd like to say this to all the haters who dropping the bombs out there. When will you stop when there's no one else left to drop a bomb on? That's your goal. And then there ain't gonna be no peoples on the earth. Then you really gonna be home alone. And I guess the animals will have one last meal to devour. One last human being. Can you imagine that? In all your killing ways. Can you imagine that? Neighbor. Bomb your neighbor. Bombs over Baghdad. Iraq was our neighbor. Libya was our neighbor. Palestine is our neighbor. Israel is our neighbor. Africa is our neighbor. The whole land is our neighbor.
There you go.
The whole land is love before the invader came upon. Well, that concludes my 30 verses of the neighbor.
Okay, that goes Super 24.